function, function multiple parameters.
right?
Function return the
So
program.
this was a normal function which doesn't have any parameter and which is not returning anything. Okay. Then we saw a function which has a parameter. Okay. Then we saw a function where we can pass number of two parameters. Right. Then we saw a function which can have a parameter and which can return some value. And we can set some default value also to this parameter. Means this function has two parameter, but if user send only one parameter, so this 5 will assign to num1 and num2 will be 0. Got it? Here we have created function with three parameter with to create a full name. If we pass first name, middle name, last name, and we return the full name. Okay. Now this were all like in the script only we were calling. Means in the script only we were creating the function and the script only after that we were calling the function. But normally we don't do this. We have to call these functions on the button click and everything make it interactive. Okay. Now, so we can say event. Okay, let's see event first. Then if we have time today, we will check the element access, otherwise tomorrow. Okay. Now we are going to see events. So what do we mean by events? What do we mean when we say event?
When user uh, click perform some operation.
Right? Whenever user is performing some operation or wherever user is interacting with the HTML page, right? Basically, it's a HTML page. In HTML page, we have so many things. We can have H1 button, drop down, radio button, checkbox. So when user is interacting with that element, means if it's a checkbox, he's checking it or unchecking it. If it's a button, user can click on it. Correct? When using mouse also, using user is using mouse also, or user typing something. All these are events. Correct now? If user is typing something, so that's a event or not? If user is
Yes,
typing something, that is also event. See, whatever happening is with your HTML page, everything is an event. And based on that event, we can write the code. Means if user click on some button, we need to write some code. If user change the drop down, we have to write some code. If user check the checkbox, we have to write some code. If user is moving mouse inside a particular div, there also we can write the code. So whatever the user is performing, we can write a code on that. So that's where event comes in. Okay. Now let's start. Let me just add the bootstrap. Use not use now. I'm just going to use bootstrap CDN. Copy, paste. Okay. Now a small UI we will design. Dot row. Dot call three. After this row, I'm taking. Oh, sorry. Now in first very obvious event, we see that is the click event. Okay. Now one more thing. So event is only limited in JavaScript or in .NET or Java also we can have events. Whatever we are going to see events, right? Is it only limited with JavaScript,
no.
Angular or React, or do we have these events in .NET, Java or any other technology? Guys,
Yes,
right? In .NET also we have Java. See, Angular, React, or even Vue.js or any whatever the technologies. We did it. It was not from the start, right? Just recent some year we got it. Let's say 10 years. But before that, only .NET and Java was there, majorly for web application. So whatever we are writing it over here, same thing was there only. But concept is something different. Okay. Now, so in this div, I'm creating a button. Let's say add class btn success. I will say show welcome. Okay. So now on click of this button, what I need to do, I need to show a welcome message. See, Yesterday, last session we created a function and in the script only we called it. So when the page was loaded, that function was getting called automatically. But that same function I need to call now on the button click, right? Okay. So now we have to create a function. So script function show welcome message. Here we will say alert and a message welcome B29. Now this function we need to call on the click of this button. Hmm? So on this button, starting tag, not on the ending tag. Starting tag we have to write on. What will be my event? It's a button. We are going to click. So see here on click equal to double quote. And in double quote, you need to call this function and round bracket. Means how we were calling it over here. We were calling it over here like this. That's how this function was getting executed. If we call like this, same thing we need to write it over here, but inside on click means once any event happen on this button and the event type is on click, then this function will trigger. See now, I'm removing this. Once I click, see, I got the pop-up means basically my function is getting triggered. Getting it? So on click, this is our function name, event name. It is predefined. Okay. Now you cannot write it like on click like capital. It will work because HTML is like that, but it's a small case only. Okay. Then if I inside this div, I will create a h1. Can I write click event on h1? Can I write click event on h1? This h1, can I write click event?
No.
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 Yes.
Yes.
Guys, whatever the element we have in our HTML page, click event is a event which will work on every element.
Mhm.
Okay. See. Button is the actual element where click event should be used, but it's not guaranteed or it's not any limitation that this event you can use on this element. It will work or not, that's the other thing. But there is no restriction in HTML page that this event you can use on this element. It will work or not, that's not guaranteed. I will tell you the example of that also. This is one of the intro question. Like, can we write any event on any HTML element? Answer is yes. But you need to say, but it's not guaranteed that that particular event will work properly with that event. Okay. So on click, same function I'm calling. Okay. Save. So now if I click on hello, see, it's still working. Clear? Understood now?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
nothing is like that. Any particular event is there and we can write it on particular element only. Everywhere we can write it. Okay. After that, I'm creating one more column and here I will add a background color, BG warning. What color BG warning does? What color we will get with this BG warning class? Guys, bootstrap.
Orange, sir.
Huh?
Orange. Red.
Yeah. Kind of yellow and orange mix. Okay. So now I need to write a click event on this div. If I click anywhere on this div, I need to call a function. So again, on this div, you will write on click, again, same function. See, anywhere if I click, my function is getting triggered. H1 is also getting triggered. On hello also is getting triggered. Clear? So we can write on click event on H1 also, button also, and even div also. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's see another event. Function. Now we will have a drop down. Select option, let's say Maharashtra, Pune, Nagpur, Jaipur. So we have a drop down. Okay. Once I change this drop down, I need to write some event. On the change of this drop down, Pune is selected. If I change it to Nagpur, I need to write some event. Let's try click event. So where I should write the click event? On the select or on the option? Where I
On
should
the
write this?
option.
Wait, why it's giving error? Okay, because of this. On the option or on the select, where I should write the click event?
Select.
On
Let's try to write on the option. Okay. On Nagpur, I'm writing. On click. Let's create the function first. Function on city changed. I will say alert city changed. Okay. And this function we have to call on this particular click event. When I select Nagpur, I expanded it. If I click on Nagpur, nothing is happening. Getting it? On this particular option, we have written the click event now, but it's not working. Got it? That's why I said you can write it anywhere, but it's not guaranteed that it will work as it should. Because this is like it will come in an imaginary div. We cannot write events on the option. So on select, we have to write. Let's try to remove this on select. Let's see if it works or not. Will it work if I write click event on the select? Okay, let's see. See, I'm clicking it. But I'm not able to select the drop down. Getting it? See, I'm not able to change. So understood? Will click
yes, sir.
event work on the drop down? Means obviously it will work. But if in our function we have alert box, whenever we click, suddenly our pop-up will come. So we user won't be able to select any another city. Correct? No?
Yes, sir.
Understood why I said ki you cannot call any event on any element?
Yes,
So the right event for the drop down is instead of on click, it will be what it should be. Just for the
On
button, we said on click. If it's a drop down, what event it might be?
on change.
On
On
select.
change.
Change. Okay, because we are changing the value. It's an input element. So on change. Now, if you see, if I open Nagpur, see, I got the drop down alert box. Getting it? Again, if I open and again I select the Jaipur, now I didn't get the event. Why? Getting it? Wait. Currently, Jaipur is selected. If I select Pune, I'm getting the alert. Again, I open, change the city, I got it. Again, if I open and again I selected the Nagpur only. Now, this time I didn't get the pop-up. Why? Change not happened, na? We didn't write the event like on the open of this drop down. On select, we didn't write, na? What's the event? Change. If the drop down value is not changed, it won't trigger this function. If a Nagpur is selected, if again opening and again I'm selecting Nagpur only, value didn't get changed, right? So this event will look for the change happening. If the value got changed, then only it will trigger this event. So if I open and if I change the city, then my function will trigger. Now understood?
yes, sir.
Okay. So change event will happen when your input element value got changed. Clear? Okay. Now we will try to write the same event on the text box. Input on change and this function over here. Fine. Okay. By default, text box is empty. If I enter some value, text box value got changed. But now my function is not getting triggered. Okay. But once I click outside, currently this text box is active. Once I click outside, see, now I got it. Getting it? See, again I am clicking and again I am clicking out. Now it is not getting clicked. My function is not getting triggered. But if I change some text box value and if I click outside, then my function is getting triggered. See. But if I don't change the text box value and I'm simply activating it and clicking outside, it's not triggering because text box value didn't get changed. Understood?
Yes, sir.
The problem with drop down is like when we drop down structure is like that when we click our drop down open and then when we select actually we are clicking on it so that change detection happens something. Okay, we will see that once Angular start. But for now, change event on change event normally work properly with drop down only. Text box, in case of text box, it will trigger once we click outside, then it will check the value changes. Because HTML page won't understand if change happening or not. So in case of text box, if you need to write once the text box value got changed, so you have a different event that is on input. Okay. Now see A. Getting it? For every value change, we are getting the pop-up. Understood? So on input. But this event is only limited till JavaScript. We don't use this event in Angular. Normally, our work will get done with on change and again ng model change event is there. So on input means when user is providing the input, after that this event will trigger. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for drop down, you will use on change event. For text box, you will hit on input event. One more event is there. Blur. Okay. Let me write function on blur event. Here I will write alert. Focus. Out. Just like this, one more event I will create. On focus in. Focus in. So I have two event, on blur event and focus function, right? So this function I need to call. See, this is the text box. Once this text box is active, I need to write something. And once this text box focus is out, I need to write something. Understood the event? Was this, see, currently which text box is active? This one. Once I click on this text box got active. So once this text box is active, I need to write something. So for that, I need to call the event. And once this text box is deactive, means I'm on some another element like this. So I need to write some event. So for that, we have on focus event. So on focus, we will call this function. Okay, let's test this. If I click on it, see text focus in. Now it will continuously call. Let me reload. So instead of showing the alert box, now we will show console.log focus in and same thing over here, focus out. Is it hard for understanding? Everyone is silent or you are able to understand properly?
Yes, sir, understand it properly.
Yeah, we can understand.
Okay, fine. So we have two events, focus out and focus in. So this function, let's open the console now. Once I enter, you see focus in event got triggered. Okay, just like focus in, we have another function that is blur event. So this we have to call over here, and the event will be on focus. We don't have any focus out event. So we have blur on blur, and we will call this event. So see now, once user clicked, he is writing something, and once user clicks away, see focus out. Focus in, focus out, focus in, focus out. Understood? So if user is, that particular element is active currently, so focus in event will trigger. If user moves away from that element, focus out event will trigger. So we have so many of event for everything possible in web application. Whatever you can think, for everything, we have some dedicated event. Whatever you think, like you need to write some piece of code on this particular operation, we have an event for that. There is not a single thing which you can think that I need to write some event for this thing and we don't have event. Everything is covered. Even see, we have this scroll bar now. If I move this, on this also I can write the code. If we use mouse scroll, we have a scroll bar in mouse, right? If we use that, there also we can write the code. If I see currently my screen size is this. If I change this, what is happening? If I'm doing this, what is happening? What's what will be the right word for this? If I'm doing this, what should be
Right.
event?
This
Hmm? Just normal, just normal English. I'm doing this. What will be the right word for this? What I'm doing?
Drag.
No,
Dragging, sir.
no. See now, what I'm doing. What is the English word for this?
Resizing.
Resizing na. See na, page size is getting changed na. So we have resize event. Let's say on the body I can write on resize. Getting it? Let me show you this. On size change. See, function name are very understanding. Means instead of all that, whatever our normal English words are there, like that our function names are there. Okay. Okay. See now. See, getting it? See that logs are getting increased. Understood? For everything in the web page, you can write event like this. Clear? Okay. One more thing we will see. Dot row, dot call for, and on this call for, I will add some padding, fab p4, and a background color, bg danger. Okay. We will see div 22. See, I have a div. Now, this is my mouse cursor. Okay, it's moving. When user moves my mouse, this cursor inside my div, I need to write some code. Getting it? When user moves this mouse cursor inside my div, I need to write some code. Okay. So function on mouse in, we will print console. Mouse entered. Save. Now this function we need to call on this particular div, right? If mouse moves inside this div, we need to call this function. So on mouse, what function I will use over here? See, mouse related, all these events are there. What function I
on
will use?
mouse over
Mouse
over
or enter. See,
enter.
that will be the right event. Okay. See now. Okay. Just my mouse enter. See. Getting it? Now, vice versa, if mouse leave, okay? On mouse, leave, left. Just like on mouse enter, we have one more function on mouse. Which function? Leave. Okay? This function I will call it over here. See now, mouse enter got printed. I'm moving it. Once I leave, see mouse left. Getting it? If user is moving his mouse, on that also we can write the event. That is on mouse move. Understood? So these are the various events we have in JavaScript. Again, so many are. Drag event is there, drag start, drag end. Let me show you the list of events. See, these are the events we have. We have that YouTube player. So when we pause, when we play, for that also we have the event. If user pause, on that also we can write. Key related event, key down, key press, key up, mouse related event, page related event. We copy paste, like we select this and control C. On this also we can write the event. That is called clipboard event. When we paste, on that also we can write C, pay, pause, okay, scroll, toggle, touch. These touch events are when you are using this web page on the browser. There we use touch to scroll. We don't have scroller over there. We use touch. So on that also you can write the event. Volume change. Getting it? So for everything, for mouse wheel, we have event. So many events are there. Okay. Clear event?
Yes, sir.
Anyone having any doubt? So function and event is a combination. We have to create a function. That function we will call on the event. Writing event only is not enough. We need a function also, because on click of that, what you will on particular trigger of that event, what you need to call, right? So we call function. Clear? Anyone having any doubt? Let me know. Otherwise, we will move ahead with the second topic. Clear, everyone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now we will see the next topic. Again, it's a related only element access. Okay. So event is very small topic. We don't have that much because we saw already how we function create. Now that function how we call on the event. So click event. As I said, there are so many events. But normally when working on the project, mostly we use click and the change. These two events only we will normally use. Mouse event, key related event, and drag and drop. These are very limited scenario event. But most 80% we will use change event and the click event. That's it. Sometimes we will use scroll and everything. But normally every time, mostly it will be click and the change. Okay. I'm providing you the okay. Just we have some time, so let me show you another way. So one way to call the event is like you create the function, okay, and then you call it on the particular element like this, okay. But there is another way also, okay. That's this. Wait, we need to get an instance of element, but for that I need to explain that second topic, then you will be able to understand. Let it be right now. That is not mandatory that everyone should know it, but this topic was there, so I thought I will explain. But for that also, first we need to see the element access. Okay. Now, what's the page name? Element access. Now, need HTML bootstrap page. Okay. So here I will create row dot call 3. Inside this column, I will have a text box. Okay. Class form control. To the text box, we normally use form control class from the bootstrap. See, if I save, this is my text box is not coming. Just a minute. Let me stop and run again. Okay. So see, this is normal text box. We haven't added any bootstrap class to it. But once I add a bootstrap class form hyphen control. See how it is looking. Are you able to see the difference? Normal class doesn't have any highlight color and anything. See, this is your normal text box. But once I add the form control class, it will have some, once I clicked, it will have some, see, highlight color. It has some padding inside, right? So many things are there. Okay. So in Bootstrap, whenever we are using Bootstrap on every input element apart from radio button and the checkbox, we add form control class. Okay. Now, so we have this column and one more column I will take. And after that, one more column, and inside that I will have button. What does primary class does? Which color it will add?
Blue, sir.
What color it will add? Primary blue. Okay.
Yes.
PRIBTN spelling mistake. Okay. Now we will add a placeholder over here. Placeholder num1, num2. Now checking the UI. What is my task? Just saying this UI. What will be my task?
Addition of
Right? On click of add, I need to do the addition of whatever user provided num1 text box and num2 text box. And that I will showcase in the alert box. Clear? This is my task. So on click of this button, I need to read text box. What user has entered in this text box value, right? I need to extract that value from the text box. Then only I can add that, correct? So here comes the element access. Means how do we read the value of the element? Okay. So for that, first we need to write the click event. Okay. So on click, on add. Okay. Let's create this function on add script tag function name, round bracket, curly bracket. Fine. So now on click of add, this function is going to get triggered. Now in this function, we need to select this particular text box and we need to read the value of it. So to select any particular text box, any particular element, we need to provide something unique to it. What unique we can provide to this,
ID.
right? So for every element, we can provide unique, that is ID. Means just like we have our name. So for every input element, we can provide some unique ID. So ID txt num1. Just like that for the second text box also. ID txt
Num2.
num2. Fine. Now both the text box we have, so both the text box has some different ID. Now over here, constant, or let me just showcase into the HTML directly browser in the. Whatever we write it over here, same thing we can write it in the console also, JavaScript code. So document, just see
Object mode.
document. Once I'm writing document, see what is happening.
Object
See the
mode.
page. No, wait. See the page, okay? See, the whole page got highlighted. See one more time. Now my page is not getting highlighted, this particular page. Once I write document, see, my page got highlighted. Means document means my whole page, whole HTML page. Access of whole HTML page, I can get it into the document. Dot. Now there are so many methods provided by JavaScript. Document. Now we need to select this particular element. But what do we have? Unique ID. Sorry. So I need to select the element by ID. So we have method document dot get element. Which function I will trigger?
ID.
See, we to select the element we have this method. Which method I will choose?
Get
ID.
element by ID.
Okay, we are going to select the element by ID, so we have to use this method. After that, we need to provide ID in the string format. So our ID is txt num1. See, in return, what do we got? Text box. See, once I'm hovering on it, see my text box is getting highlighted. Getting it?
Yes.
If I change it to
Yes.
txt num2, see, where I am selecting, that particular text box is getting highlighted. Means we are able to select that particular text box. Got it? In return, you can see now we got the num1 num2
Num2.
So by writing this, what we got? Just the access of that particular element. Okay. Now, if I need to read the value, let's say 111 222. Again, I need to write it. Okay. So dot. Till over here, what we have done, we have just selected the particular element. If we have to read the value, so dot value. See, 222 we got. Let's change the ID. 111. Understood? So till over here, we just selected the element. And if that element is an input element, we can extract the value like dot value. And in response, you will get the value. Clear? So this is how we read the input element value. Now this same piece of code, we need to write it over inside this function. So where I'm creating a variable because this is returning some value. No? So we need to store it somewhere. Correct? So
Yes.
again, document
Dot get element
dot
by
get element by ID, round bracket, double quote. Here you need to provide your text box ID,
ID.
txt num1 dot
Dot
value.
value.
This is one where num2. Again, document dot get element by ID, round bracket, txt num2 dot value. We got element value in both the variable. Now we can add it where result is equal to num1 plus num2. We can showcase the result in the alert box. Okay. Let's save and check. 1 2 1 2. On add, we got 1 2 1 2. Is it addition?
Concatenation.
What is it? What's it's doing?
Conca-
Concatenation,
Concatenation.
Concatenation.
right? But why it is doing
Yes.
concatenation? We are providing the number only, right? But why it must be doing concatenation?
Because it is a string.
See, let's add a debugger and see. We need to debug it now. What we are getting? Why it is concatenating? 1, 2, 1, 2. Add. What type of data we are getting?
String.
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 Right? So
Yeah.
in HTML, whenever we read the text box value, by default we get the string. Doesn't matter if you provide integer, string, or anything, you will get the string type of value. Now what we need to do to add it? What should we do with this? By default, text box value we are getting in the string format. We know it's a number. So what we need to do it to be able to add it?
JSON.
We need to change the input type.
Input type. Let's check input. Instead of input type text, we will go with number. Okay.
Number.
For num1, I have used input type number on add. Still, I'm getting 12 only.
Mm.
Input type number also will give you string type of data. Now tell me what we need to do. That also
JSON
didn't
parse.
solve our JSON.
Parse.
No. JSON parse.
Here, document.get element by ID before using
No.
JSON parse.
No. See, we have got data in one data type. Now we need to convert it into another data type. Correct, no? Which data type we need to convert this?
Number.
Number, na?
Number.
So we have got string. Now we need to convert it into number.
Number.
So in JavaScript, to convert the string type of data means if we have number inside that to string, we have two methods. Again, I'm creating number 1 is equal to. So parse int.
Yes. Correct.
Parse int. JSON.parse we use in case of object. Okay. This variable I need to pass it over here. So what it
That's
will
correct.
does, it will convert whatever value we have it over here into number data type, where number 2. This is one way. Another way is capital number method is also there. And here you can pass num2. Clear? Now for addition, we will pass number 1 and number 2, the converted integer 1. See now, 12, 12, add. We got string data type. Now, if you check, see in number 1 we got 12 and number 2 we got 12. Now it will add properly 24. Clear? Let's see again. Num1, see? Then we are converting into number. Number 1 12, number 2 56. Then we are adding. Understood? So whenever we read the input element value, by default we get it as a string. But if you are going to add, you need to convert it into number by using either parseInt or number.
Mm.
So this is how we read the text box value. Now the addition we are showing into the alert box. But instead of that, I don't want to show it in the alert box. I have one more text box over here, which will say result. Ext result. Now on click of add, whatever the addition is there, I need to display inside this text box. Understood? So I don't need this alert box. I don't want to show that result into alert box. In this text box, I need to assign the value. So again, now here what we did on the add, we selected that particular element, we extracted the value. Okay. Now we need to do the vice versa. To the text box element, we need to set the value. So this line
Put in.
go over here. We just need to change the text
Yes.
box value. And here we will assign the value. That's it. See now. Add. We got the value. Now this value we are attaching to the value of this text box. See, 57. Understood? So to read the value, we have to keep this line after the equal to. And if we have to set, this line will go on the left side. And whatever the value you need to set. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is how we select the element. After that, if you need to set some value, what value? Because text box have so many properties. We just need to set the value. That's it. Equal to whatever the value you need to pass. Clear?
Clear.
Anyone having any doubt?
Sir. Sir. Sir.
हा.
तर नंबर वन आपण पर्सेंटेज घेतलं बरोबर आहे.
हम्म.
पण नंबर टू ला आपण पार नंबर कसं घेतला आपण पर्सेंटेज का घेतला.
See, from converting string into data type, we have various method. So this is also a method
Yes, sir.
and this is also a method. Again, one method is there
Okay.
where num3. You can add plus sign and then num2. Let's see. Add. Okay. So num2 is string. Okay. See the num3. Understood? So to convert string value into number values, to change the data type, either we can use parseInt number or we can simply add a plus sign also. It will convert the string into number. Clear?
Okay.
3 मेथड आहे कोणती यूज करायची. Okay. Clear everyone? One or two method again are there, but I don't want to confuse. That's why I have just explained 2 only. Anyone having any doubt again?
No.
Okay. Now, in UI, after this row, dot call 3. Inside this, I'm writing an H1. This is sample H1. Okay. After this H1, I'm creating one more button. Read text. See this H1 and see this button. What will be my task?
Read the text.
Right?
Read the
Whatever the
text.
text we have in this H1, I need to read it. Okay. On click of this button, whatever the text or content I have in this particular element, I need to read it. Okay. Script on click. Function
Add function. Add.
get text. Okay. Now this function we are going to call over here on read text. Now this is H1. As I said, whenever we have to select particular element, we need to give something unique. So let's give ID. My H1. Okay. Now over here, where text is equal to document dot get element by ID, round bracket, double quote. Inside that we need to provide our ID, that is my H1. Okay. Till over here, what I have done, I have just selected the element. Now, is this input element or display element?
Display element.
Display element.
Display element, right? So if it's an input element, we can read the value like dot value in case of input element. But if it's
Dot
a
text
display
content.
element, dot
Text content.
inner text, not just
Inner
text,
HT.
inner text.
Okay.
Okay. And this we will showcase into the alert box. Text. See now, if I click on it, whatever element, whatever the content we have in that H1, we are able to read it. Clear? Just like vice versa. What will be the vice versa of it? What will be the vice versa of it? What we are doing right now? We have another element, and whatever the text we have it inside this h1, that we need to assign it to some another element, my para. Okay, on click of this button, we will read the text from this element and we need to assign it over here. Clear a task?
No.
Array. See, we have this h1.
Hmm.
Let's change. Let's add one more button. Assign to P. Okay. Let's create one more function. Assign text. See, whatever the text we have in this h1, if I click on assign to P, I need to read this, whatever the text we have, and assign it into the paragraph, this paragraph. Let's say here I will write demo para text. Once I click on it, whatever the content we have it on this h1, that should get assigned over here to this para. Now clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Whatever the text we have in this h1, on click of this button, we need to read it and we need to assign it to this paragraph. That's it. Just like how we have done it over here. On click of addition, we assign addition over here, right? Just like that, we need to do it over here. So first, where text is equal to document dot get element by id round bracket double quote my first element, that is my h1. First I need to read the value, inner text. Then I read the h1 value. Now this h1 value I need to assign it to my paragraph. So again I need to select the paragraph, get element by id round bracket my paragraph id, my para
Okay.
dot inner text.
Text.
Getting it now? What we will assign it over here? Text. See now, by default this paragraph has some different text. If I click on assign, see, no, it's not happening. Why? Why it's not happening? Okay, we didn't call this function. See, we copied paste this button, right? Both the on both the button we are having this function only. This function we didn't call. See, understood? See one again.
Understood.
By default, in this paragraph we have some different text. Once I click, see,
Oh.
this was I was talking. Now clear what we did?
Clear.
Okay. So when you are working with input element, what you will use? Dot value to read and to set. But when you are working with display element, you will use inner text and inner text to read and to assign. Clear?
Hmm.
Anyone having any doubt?
Inner HTML. Oh,
Hmm?
okay.
Yeah.
Inner HTML.
Yeah. Okay. Everyone clear with dot value and dot inner text?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now just like this, we have one more variation. Let me create one more row. Dot call 3. Inside this call 3, I'm going to have a h1. Let's say hi from div. After h1, I have a paragraph. This is para. After that, we have a span tag also. This is span. Okay. Now I need to see what HTML I have inside this div. Getting it? I need to see what HTML code I have inside this div. So as I said, whatever you can think, everything is already covered. Just like we can read the text box value, we can read the HTML text value. Just like that, I should be able to see what HTML code I have also. Na? See now, read div code. Let's create this function. Okay. Now we have to give some ID to this div. If we have to check some content from this div, we need to give some ID. ID my div. Okay. Now inside this function, constant div area is equal to document dot get element by ID round bracket double quote. So till now what we have done, we have just selected particular element, that particular div, correct? From this, if I use dot inner text, see what do we get? This is the difference between inner text and inner HTML. If I click over here, see what do we got?
Inner text.
Just whatever the text we have in respective element. See what we did, we selected this particular div and then we use inner text. So whatever the text we have, whatever the element we have and whatever the text we have, we got a text only. Clear? Because we use inner text. So whatever the text it has inside this div, whatever the element we have, it has got all the text from it, from all the child element. But instead of this, let's copy, paste, div area, let's make it text, and here I will say HTML. And here instead of inner text, I will use inner HTML. Now see the difference. If I click, here we got the text. And in case of inner HTML, see, we got whole
Text.
whatever the elements we have, a text string data of it, means whole HTML we got.
Yes.
Understood? Now we can do the vice versa of it. What will be the vice versa of it? We will create some div and we will assign it this HTML code into another div. Correct, na? Just like we have done, na? See, I'm following the same example. First, where we read the text box value, we done the addition, we assign it to the other text box. Then we created example H1 we had, on click of it, we read the text box, we read the text content from H1 and we assign it to the paragraph. Now here we have read the complete HTML code. Now this HTML, whatever HTML code we have it over here, we need to assign it over here. That's the vice versa, na? Guys, you are able to follow or I'm going with little bit speed? Follow कर रहे हो सब?
हाँ सर.
Okay. So here I'm assigning my div to ID. Now on click of it, on click of this button, I will read whatever HTML code I have it over here and I will assign it over here. Okay. So now in this function only, we need to select this div document dot get element by ID round bracket my second div. Now here dot inner HTML, we will assign my div area. See now. Okay. This, whatever the HTML code we have in this div, once I click, see, in other div, it got pasted. Same like this. Here we copied paste the text only. Here we copied whole HTML and put it into another div. Here we set the value, whatever the result we got into a text box. Here input value, here display value, here whole HTML.
Sir, if we want to only read the text inner HTML only H1 text, so
Same
we
first way. Means from this div, if you just need to read the H1, you will give ID to this H1 and you will read like this previous way
okay.
inner text.
Mm.
Okay. Clear all?
Clear.
Anyone having any doubt? Clear or no? This is what we call element access, means selecting particular element and then we can do some operation with that element. We can read the value, we can set the value. Okay. So just like this one method I have explained, just like that, so many methods are there, but we don't need to need all this right now. While working in Angular, we don't use this also. There are different ways to read the text box value in Angular. So this is only limited till JavaScript only.
Hello,
Yes.
sir. Means ये जो डॉक्यूमेंट डॉट HTML टेक्स्ट जो हमने पूरा सिलेक्ट किया
Hmm.
तो डिस्प्ले तो सेम ही हुआ मीन्स टेक्स्ट तो डिस्प्ले नहीं हुआ मीन्स पूरा HTML डिस्प्ले हुआ तो ओनली आईडी से भी हम पूरा टेक्स्ट तो शो कर ही सकते हैं तो डिफरेंस क्या हुआ डॉट इनर टेक्स्ट और डॉट HTML टेक्स्ट का
इनर टेक्स्ट में क्या मिलता है तुमको? उस पर्टिकुलर एलिमेंट में का टेक्स्ट मिलता है, सिर्फ टेक्स्ट.
हाँ
ओके. इनर एचटीएमएल से क्या मिलता है? इस डिव में क्या क्या
हम्म,
एलिमेंट है वो पूरा मिलता है एज इट इज. ये जहां पे जैसा तुमको दिख रहा है ना, ये एज इट इज पूरा मिल जाता है एचटीएमएल से. इनर टेक्स्ट से क्या मिला था? सिर्फ ये हाइपरम डिव, ये मिला था. एलिमेंट नहीं मिले थे. H1P,
तो वही कंटेंट मिलेगा।
राइट. only
हम्म,
content mila inner text
हाँ
mein, but in case of
हाँ,
HTML you get whole thing, whatever you have it over here. Either this has a text box button, everything from this div you get whole thing including HTML tag with inner HTML. Inner text just the content,
कंटेंट ओके
value, text box value, uh, content, inner text.
गॉट इट
Okay. Again, this is only limited till JavaScript only. Okay, in Angular we don't use this, but you should be aware in JavaScript how do we do the same thing. Okay, clear all? Let me show you the task. JavaScript. So we today we have seen two things: element access and event. Okay. So see, we are half there in the JavaScript. Basic is done. Now, how do we add a dynamic CSS? How do we write if else, object, array, for loop, storage? These 6 topics are again left. Okay. So make sure you complete variable, operator, function, element access, and event. Then only you will understand the remaining. Otherwise, it will be hard to understand. Okay. Clear? Okay. Fine. So let's connect tomorrow. Complete the task. If anyone having any doubt in the task, let me know. No one is asking me yet, so either everyone is getting everything or no one is practicing. So make sure you complete the task. Okay. Those who are already working, if you want to develop your logic building you need to work on, these are the tasks you need to work. Okay, anyone having any question?
नो सर
Okay, fine then, let's connect tomorrow.